The Israel-Hamas war has exposed a deep and bitter divide here in the UK.
Nice
How
to
are
meet you.
you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thank
Lovely
you.
to meet you.
Deborah Lyons, a British Jew, and Mohammed Abu Kachab, a British Palestinian, are on opposite sides of that divide. But they wanted to sit down and find out how much of the gap could be bridged.
And for me, as a Jewish person living here, there was sort of a life up to October 7th, and then there's been a life since October 7th, and my life has not been the same. And I can say that, having spoken to anyone that I've spoken to within my community, my family, that's pretty much goes, you know, across the board. That's universal.
Since October 7th attacks, I felt that, of course, how horrific what had happened to the Israeli people touched a chord with me. But it's also, I think, something that the Palestinians have felt for the last 75 years. And as much recognition that the attacks do deserve, I also think there's never been a light on what's happened to the Palestinian people for the last 75 years.
Calling for a ceasefire without calling for the release of the hostages, or calling for river to the sea rather than calling for a two-state solution, are things that for me are truly problematic. And then when I'm walking around London seeing swastikas all over the street or ripped down hostage posters on my way to work, does it make me feel very targeted here, very isolated here and afraid? Yeah, 100%.
But with any community and any type of movement, there's always going to be an extremist side. And if we want to go down that route, can I ask what your problem is with the saying, from the river to the sea?
But from the river to the sea being said in the streets of London is calling for the elimination of the Dutch state.
It's not calling for that.
There's now sort of been a whole rewrite of what from the river to the sea is. But if you call for a two-state solution, I will get on board with that. I'll be next to you with a banner.
We do call for a two-state solution.
River to
I've
the sea
been
is
calling
not
for a
that.
two-state solution.
You
River to the sea means from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, the end of the occupation in the West Bank and in Gaza. What has historically been linked to it, it's definitely not reflective of what it is now. And what I will always know it to mean is simply the end of occupation.
But I think what I would like to think is that, having had this conversation, that you would walk away and feel differently about that, because if you understand that that's problematic and actually a barrier to moving forward, maybe that would be something that you would consider differently, because river to the sea to me does not mean that at all. And if however much you try and sell me that,
I'm not here to sell you anything.
It's not going to work.
I'm not here to sell you anything. And to be honest, I won't stop saying it either, because I know what it means to me. People like me and you should unite against all the type of violence that there is in the world, and show that we don't want these people who are only using violent means to come to agreement, because it doesn't need to be like that.
I genuinely feel better having spoken to you, because I think there's something. I do have an issue with your river to the sea thing. I mean, I'm never going to let you get away with that.
That's okay.
When you start walking around with the two-state solution thing, you call me, and we'll go on our own mini march.
We do call for a two-state solution.
The only positive I can see that's come out of this is that actually maybe it's thrown everything so horrendously into the limelight in every possible way that maybe the only way forward is a way forward.
Like, we have no problems between each other, and that's what we need to show. Like, doing something like this, it's shown that, especially to a lot of different people, it's shown our problems are not inherent, are not a wedge between us. Like, just to genuinely be one people.
Let's hope.
Here we can hope.
Let's hope.
Amid such great division, hope like that is no small thing. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.